let's be upfront and honest about this. It's not my favorite. That was a fail. So let's take a second and talk about my hose. Well, I thought I was going to be all smart. I was going to make one purchase that was going to last me a long time. Going to get something that was really heavy duty, real tough, and never have to worry about it ever. And that is this hose right here. And let's be upfront and honest about this. It's not my favorite. So I'm going to hold this hose right here just so you can get a scale of how big and how a little bit unwieldy this is. And right here, I'm going to pop up the actual hose from the Harbor Freight website. This sucker is big and it's heavy. And like I was saying, it was supposed to last me forever. Being that it was real thick and whatnot, that I could just throw it out on the ground and never have to think about it. Well, the big problem here is where to put it and coiling it up. So when you've got this stretched out and you've come back to put it away for the day, it's a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stretch this hose out and go through the coiling process. I'll be able to do that right now a little bit easier just because there's no water in it. Normally what I do is go to the back of the trailer, I use the bike rack and I actually coil it around the bike rack and take it off from there. So let's get on to the demonstration part, how much of a pain in the butt this is. So one side note before I get to coiling all this is that this isn't even the whole length of the hose. I've actually cut this shorter because I didn't need the full length of it. So you can imagine if it was full length. I feel like one of those infomercials where they show something that should be a fairly simple task and it's just like they're completely failing at it. But seriously, this thing's a pain in the butt. All right, I'm going to give you one more perspective shot here. And this is the dinette, currently in its lowered position, of course. And the cushion where you sit, there's a compartment under there. And I used to have to take this hose and kind of squish it down and try to shove it under there or whatnot. You've probably heard me say used to a couple times now. That's for good reason. Let me show you why. So as you can see here, I picked up one of these stretchy hoses and it takes up a fraction of the space. Look at this. I put myself over here on this side of the screen so that right here, I could put up some information about it. I picked this up on sale at Walmart and I've been thinking about getting one of these for quite a long time. Comes with a sprayer at the end of it. And this hose actually stretches out further than that other hose that's the tougher one that I have to coil up and all that. One thing to note about this hose, on the packaging for this hose, it actually has a warning on it for the amount of pressure that you can put through this. And I'm going to put a plug here for another one of my videos that goes over the water filter and a pressure regulator in regards to it. Definitely a needed item for using one of these hoses so that you're not going to break it in the middle of the night and waste a lot of water. I've got my trusty assistant here to go over the durability of this hose. Is it pretty strong? It is pretty strong. And it is an item that's not going to be quite as tough as that other hose. We might have to do a future review video after a year or two to see how well it's holding up. But it does have that outer protector on it. And it is some sort of medical tubing or something on the inside for stretching out. So it's meant to last for quite a while. And we'll see how the long term of the hose goes. I got a couple more shots for you in regards to laying it out, picking it up, and the size of storage comparison to the other hose. So let's get to that. And we've got our hose here. We just pulled it out and we're going to go ahead and get this laid out on the ground so that we can hook it up to the spigot. And just like that, we are laid out ready to go. Now, I have had a couple instances where it's been in a knot in some form or fashion. No big deal. Like that. Just pull the hose out like you would a rope. Get that knot undone. It's super, super easy. No problem at all. Simple. Now let's take a look at the flip side though. Putting it away. Unhook my hose. Just start coiling it up. And there we go. Simplest ever. Totally worth getting one of these hoses. Let me take you inside now to take a look at the comparison of space used between one of these hoses and that old one. And we're back inside the trailer now. I've got this hose still, and we're gonna put it right inside this other hose. It takes up so much less space. Totally worth getting one of these hoses. Now, if your RV is struggling for space and you're just needing to downsize something, your hose may be one of those options. This I can put inside a little tote, put inside a cubby, somewhere that I can just shove it in and cram it in, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I am so glad that I picked up one of these hoses. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me and my hose today. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Definitely helps out the channel, and I appreciate it. Hit that like button if you found the information valuable to you in a future hose purchase. We'll catch y'all on another adventure. See ya.